Try that. Hey, if you can hear me, let me know in the comments if you're able to hear me. Sorry, we're having some problems due to connection issues. But I've got on here. I want to be able to let everyone know that we are doing a. Let's see. Just trying to make sure we're live. Okay, we are doing today. We're doing a special Escaping for Your Guide to 4-5 Tennis. We're extending the launch day deal. So not only if you get it today, not only do you get the ebook, but in addition, I'll also review your forehand and your backhand, compare them to a pro, and give you tips and ideas on how you can improve. So if you're serious about wanting to get to the next level, if you feel stuck, and like you just haven't been able to progress or improve, then this ebook is for you, and this special launch day package is especially for you because it's really going to help you get to the next level. So, with that being said, we're going to check our connection real quick. Sure we're all good. Does it look good on that one? Okay, perfect. All right, we're going to continue on. Hopefully y'all can hear us. I want to go over just a few things in today's live, and the first one is setting goals. And specifically, we hear this a lot, and you've probably heard this like if you went to college or in high school and things like that. There's something called SMART goals, SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. These are goals that are specifically going to help you get to the next level. And a big part of these, specific, is measurable. So in SMART, specific, and then the very next letter, measurable. And what we often do with tennis is we set very vague goals. I want to win more tournaments. I want to get better. I want to play longer matches. I want to be more fit. Things that are very hard to measure or quantify. So in the ebook, we go over the process of being able to track and measure your goals much more quantifiably in a way that will enable you to be able to very, very clearly see whether or not you're actually progressing towards the player that you want to be or not. And in the ebook, we're going to be going through this and we're going to be identifying the way to track your progress and see whether or not you're moving forward or whether or not you're moving back. So here's how you do it. Go to a tennis court with a friend and start rallying cross court with them. You can do forehand, backhand, whatever you want. And what you should do during the rally is start off at a very low pace. So I would say about 50% pace and see how many shots in a row you can get going cross court at that 50% pace. So once you've done that for, and what you should do then is do 3 rallies. So do 3 rallies with your friend going cross court and write down the max number of shots that you made in during that 50. Now, if you're during that 50% pace for those 3 rallies. Now, if your partner misses wide or long or something like that, then you just keep going and see how many you can make. This is the ability to track your progress. We're specifically focusing if you are improving or not. So what you should be able to do is get on, and once you've gotten on the court and you've done your 3 rallies, write down whichever of those 3 rallies you had the longest at. So maybe one you got 4, next one you got 5, and the next one you got 6. So write down 6. Then go to the next pace up, so 50% to 75%. Now, 75%, again, this can be kind of hard to feel. This is going to be somewhat, and I know I was saying earlier we want to get away from feelings, but there are some aspects where we're going to have to feel. 75% pace, this should feel like a pretty fast, strong shot, but you're definitely not swinging all out. Again, at 75, it's 3/4 pace. You should feel like you're hitting pretty strong, but not 100%. And this is the ability to track your progress by doing each of these different paces. So then at the 75% pace, go cross court with your partner and write down how many shots. So do 3 rallies with them and write down how many shots at that 75% pace were you able to make consistently in a row. Write that down and then go to 100% pace. Now this doesn't mean you're swinging like a baseball bat and you're just swinging as hard as you can. You got to keep good technique. You got to keep good form. But this is going to enable you at each of these 3 pace levels, 50%, 75%, and then 100%, to be able to your progress. So look at yourself in 1 month and then check yourself the next month and see how well you're improving. And in the ebook, we're going to be going through this process for each of the different strokes for forehand, backhand, serve, return, and volley. If you want overhead, you're going to have to figure that out yourself. We didn't have enough space. But we're going to be going through each of those. And what this does and what we have a place for in the ebook is the ability to write down your goals and track your goals and see, okay, be specific and measurable. You're not just saying, I hope I get better, I want my forehand to improve. You're tracking and you're measuring whether or not you're truly improving or whether or not you're actually regressing. So this is a big thing that we're going to be going over in the ebook is the ability to track your goals. So if you want to be able to track your goals and you want to have a clear path to do that, go get Escaping 4.0, Your Guide to 4-5 Tennis. You can comment in relation to this video, and you can check the link in bio, and we'll be able to send you that ebook right away, and then take advantage of our special launch day package, which is not only going to include the ebook, but it's also going to include a stroke review for your forehand and your backhand. And that's completely just included in the package. That's a special going on right now till midnight tonight. So if you want to take advantage of that, make sure you do now. So that's number one. So I want to go over the ability to track goals and set smart goals. That's number one. Number two, I want to talk today a little bit about the contact point. Now, I get a lot of pushback on this in comments and DMs and things like that, where people are like, ah, you're crazy, you don't know about contact point. So within tennis, you know, there's a lot of things that are very subjective, meaning, let me think of an example. Like, okay, a particular grip, okay, Eastern grip, continental grip, semi-Western, Western grip, okay, certain of those grips, that's very personal, you know, so, okay, depending on which one you prefer, that's going to be right for you. Another one is like probably two-handed versus one-handed backhand. Now, there could be some stats and some data showing, okay, most of the time you're able to get more power, deal with harder shots from a two-handed backhand than a one-handed backhand, and I would have to research that. I'm not saying that's true, but I'm saying in general, two-handed versus one-handed backhand, that's another one that's more opinion-based, it's more kind of subjective. But one that is not particularly subjective because it's based in science and physics is torque. Now, torque is the way that you generate power whenever you hit a shot, whenever you move a lever. Torque is made up of two different things. Force, and I'm not saying torque, that's a different thing. Torque is force times distance. So what that means is the farther you away, so force is how fast you're swinging. So, you know, I mean, this makes common sense. The faster I swing, the harder I'm going to hit my shot. And then distance is the other component of it, though, and that's the part that people kind of forget a lot of times, is that not only how fast am I swinging, but it's also how much space is in between me and my contact point. If there's a lot of space in between me and my contact point, then I'm creating a lot of distance. But if I'm hitting all my shots tight and it's close and I'm kind of hitting like a T-Rex, then I'm not going to be able to get any torque from this. And this is a basic physics law. So how do we apply this in tennis? What this means is when you create more space, when your elbow is fully extended, when your arm is straight to the contact point, you are by definition going to get more power. Like, end of story, that is what physics says. When you have more distance between yourself and the contact point, you are going to get more power. That is just a physics law. And you can have a subjective opinion on whether or not that is ideal for tennis. You can say, well, actually, you might get more power here, but actually when you hit closer and your contact and your arm, elbow has been at contact, you're able to generate more pace or more spin because you're able to whip in. But when it's just a physics law that when you have a completely straight arm, you're creating more distance for yourself, and by definition, you're getting more pace. Now again, is this pace automatically going to translate to a better shot? No. But if part of your problem is you don't have a weapon in your game, and part of the reason you don't have a weapon is because you're not hitting with enough power and enough depth and pace on your shot to push your opponent back, then the first thing you should be thinking about is how can I get more arm extension between myself and the ball? And again, we're going to be going through all of this in Escaping 4.0, Your Guide to 4-5 Tennis, and today only, I'm going to be doing a free forehand and backhand review for you if you get the ebook today. You can send in your video, I'll sync it up with a pro, and then I'll do a comparison for you to help you identify where the areas that you're doing well and where the areas that you're doing poorly. So comment 4.5 or go check out the link in my bio or DM me 4.5, and I'll get the ebook to you so that we can take advantage of today's special launch day package. So that all relates to the ability to get power and the ability to hit hard weapon-like shots. That is the fact of getting lots of space between yourself and the ball. Again, you can have lots of opinions in tennis, you know, one stroke is better than another stroke or stuff like that, but a definition in tennis based on physics is that the more space between yourself and the ball, the more straight your elbow is, by definition, the more power you're going to get because you're maximizing torque, because torque equals force times distance. So if you want to get more power, the number one way to do that is to be able to get more space. Now, there is another side to things where you say, okay, look, yes, I understand that torque is going to give me distance, but what about momentum? What if I have a big backswing, and so I go really high above my head and whip it around, and building up that momentum is going to get me power? And there's some validity to that. There is some truth, and I get a lot of this in the comments, like, no, Djokovic, Sinner, they have the best forehands ever, even though they have bigger backswings. When I say they have a bigger backswing, what that means is their arm is fully extended behind them. That's by definition, that's as big of a backswing as you can get because your arm is perfectly straight. So you can't get any bigger than that. So Djokovic and Sinner, for example, they both do that, where they both fully extend back. And so that is a bigger backswing. And because of that, you're going to notice that when they make contact, their arm is not straight. They're losing torque. Djokovic and Sinner are losing torque instead of and instead their arm is slightly bent at contact. Now, is that bad? Not necessarily, but they are by the definition of torque, which is force times distance, they are losing power and they are losing the ability to hit their shots as hard as they could if their arm was fully extended, like a Federer, like an Alcaraz, like a Nadal. So, but again, there's two sides to the coin. So they're losing some power by doing this, but they're also helping themselves build up power by building up momentum. So you can think about it as both sides. You can think about there is this side of being able to get more power through being able to do momentum, and then there's the other side of being able to get power through being able to do a full out contact point. Now, this is the reason why I recommend being able to do a contact point. And I see that someone commented 4.5. We're going to get you the ebook, don't you worry, and we're going to get that to you very shortly. So why do I say that an extended contact point is better than a big backswing? So, because again, you can make the argument that both a big backswing and an extended contact point are going to get you power. And again, we talked about this already, that Djokovic and Sinner both do a great job of they actually don't do a great job of having an extended contact point, but they do a great job of a big backswing like that, where their backswing goes way around the head. So why don't I recommend that for you? And if you're wanting to get to the 4-5 level, why do I recommend that you actually have a short backswing and an extended contact point? The reason is, when you have a big contact point, it's much harder to time the ball. Djokovic and Sinner are unbelievably talented. They've been playing for years, and their timing is essentially perfect. You're going to have a really hard time getting better timing than how good they are. So if you have a big backswing, though, and so when they have their big backswing, it's okay because they're able to still time their backswing so that way, right as they're swinging forward with their momentum, they're able to pull all that momentum forward and into the shot. So if you're serious about wanting to get better, you could try to have a big backswing, but the problem is you're going to find that a lot of times you're going to get jammed. Again, their timing is so good, and their timing plus their footwork. So their footwork enables them, even with a big backswing, to be able to move back, give themselves space, and then lean forward into the court. Here's another just definition of physics related to tennis. If you are leaning back, when you hit the shot, you're going to lose power. Why do I say that? Because the best way of you getting power in all of tennis is your body weight, your momentum into the shot. So if you are leaning back, you're losing power and you're losing control. And Djokovic and Sinner, even though they have that big backswing, they are going to be able to always be leaning forward or almost always be leaning forward because their timing and their footwork is so perfect. But most of us are not Djokovic and Sinner. Most of us don't have the ability to have perfect timing every single time and to create perfect distance every single time because our footwork is probably not as good as theirs. So if you are wanting to increase your power and do better, my recommendation is don't try to have the big backswing and build up momentum that way because, again, you're then going to be sacrificing time. It's going to be harder to time the ball. And unless your footwork is really good, you're going to be getting jammed. So instead, my recommendation is have a short backswing. So I have my racket right here. Keep that backswing, and again, I'm on the table, so I can't get it too low. Keep the backswing, the racket head, I would say at or below your head level. Turn as early as you can. I see this so common with especially 4-0 players. They turn too late. You turn too late. So the ball's coming, and then the last second you turn, and you hope that you're going to be able to get contact out in front. You're not going to be able to. You don't have enough time. Instead, you need to be able to turn as early as you absolutely freaking can. As soon as you know whether it's a forehand or backhand, turn immediately. And this is going to be able to help you make that contact point at full extension and be able to get a lot more power. So again, that all is relating to the ability to get power either through one, torque, or which is maximizing how far your shot is away from your body, or two, being able to do it through a momentum. And I do not recommend trying to build up momentum through having a big backswing. Instead, I recommend having a short backswing so that way you can make contact out in front and your timing is going to be a lot easier. I go over through this and go into more detail in Escaping 4-0, your guide to 4-5 tennis. And again, if you get it today, special launch day package, I will review your forehand and your backhand, compare them to pros, and tell you where you need to be improving. Comment 4.5, DM me 4.5, go check out the link in my bio, and I'll get the ebook to you, and so that way you can take advantage of the special launch day package where not only do you get the ebook, you also get a personalized forehand and backhand review compared to a pro that you choose. So you let me know what pro you want. I will sync up your two videos, and I will tell you where you need to be doing better and how you can improve to get more like those pros. So We've now talked about the ability to set goals. We've talked about being able to generate power through getting torque, not just momentum. The last thing I want to go through is the ability. So in tennis, we so often, and again, I'm guilty of myself, of just only talking about technique. And this is a very common mistake in tennis where we only focus on technique. And this is common for me as well. It's easy to be able to talk about technique and identify where things are going well or where things are going poorly very easily, very visually with technique. But something that we don't see a lot of in tennis is the ability to make sure that you're not just good technically in terms of your swing, your contact point, things like that, but you're also good physically, meaning that you have a good warm-up, meaning that you have a good recovery, meaning that you're working out. So if you're not working out and you're not doing those things, technique is only going to get you so far. And again, the biggest thing, even than all of that, then warm-ups and things like that, is the ability to be able to have a tough mind. Djokovic and Sinner is not number one in the world right now because of his strokes. I will be happy to have more conversation if you want to DM me about this, but I strongly believe this. His strokes are fantastic, but they are not the reason why he is so good. Tons of players in the top 100 have phenomenal strokes. The thing that sets Sinner and Djokovic apart is their ability to be so freaking mentally tough. They don't let anything get to them. They stay mentally focused. They are not so good because of their strokes. Sometimes they're even good despite their strokes. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say that for Djokovic or Sinner. I think they have overall very, very good strokes. But again, that's not the thing that's giving them such an amazing edge on everyone else. Plenty of other good players who have fantastic forehands, backhands, and serves. But the mental side of things, that's what's giving them the edge. So if you're not spending time trying to develop your own mental approach to tennis, then you're wasting your time by only focusing on technique and things like that. And in my ebook, we're going to be going through technique, but we're also going to be going through the fitness side of things. We're also going to be going through the mentality side of things. We're going to get into a little bit of psychology even. I'm going to ask you, why are you afraid? Because so many people, myself included, we struggle with fear. We struggle with the fear that if we don't perform well, people are going to judge us. People are going to laugh at us. But I have some news. If this is a fear that you struggle with, if you struggle about people thinking poorly of you, I'm going to be honest, people don't care all that much about you or about me because they are thinking about themselves. I played college tennis. We had tons of team matches, and I don't remember times when other people lost the matches for us. I remember the times when I lost the matches for us. That was the big thing that I put a lot because I was thinking about myself. So if you're someone who worries a lot about other people and what they're going to think of you if you win or lose, then you need to be able to realize, and this might be a sad reality, but it is a reality, that they actually aren't thinking about you near as much as you think they are. Instead, they're thinking about themselves. So you got to be able to let that fear go. And in this ebook, we're going to be going through this, that ability to deal with that fear mentally and even physically. There are physical things that you can do to be able to deal with fear. So again, and I know I've said this a couple times, if you want to get the ebook, if you want to be able to deal with the mental side, improve your technique, we're having a special launch day package today, where if you get it today, I will not only give you the ebook, you'll also get a forehand and backhand review personalized to you. You'll send me in a video, and then I will send you back a customized, personalized video comparing your forehand and backhand to a pro of your choice. So if you want to take advantage of this, this is an insane launch day deal. Make sure you go get it. You can DM 45, you can message 45, you can go click on the link in the bio. Anything, just make sure you take advantage of this. So the last thing I want to go over is the ability to be able to so we've talked about technique, get extended away from your body. We've also talked about mentality and what a big part of the game that is. And if you're not spending time thinking about that and dwelling on that and visualizing, then you're wasting your time, and you need to not just do private lessons and things like that. You need to spend time doing that. The last thing I want to talk about is the physicality part of it. So in tennis, so often, I'm guilty of this myself, we easily want to have we get into tennis and we immediately start hitting shots instead of going into it with a goal and with a warm-up. So I'm going to go over real quickly, and hopefully this is going to be helpful for a few people. I'm going to go over a few quick warm-up exercises that I recommend that you do before you start your next practice. So take a few notes. If you have a notepad, go ahead and write them down. These are things I strongly recommend. Again, we're going to be going over this. We're also going to be going over fitness and recovery workouts all in the ebook. So if you're interested, make sure you go check it out. Click the link in my bio or message me 4.5. So the first warm-up exercise I recommend is dynamic leg swings. So what this means is go to a fence. You can even stabilize yourself, put your hands on the fence, and then swing your legs back and forth. Might seem very simple, but this is really going to do a great job getting your legs and your hip muscles all ready, because a lot of times what happens is during tennis, we have to plant and we stop and we go both ways. And if you're not doing dynamic leg swings and warming up your legs before you start a practice, then you're much more likely to injure yourself. And you're not going to have as good a practice. So number one, do some leg swings. Number two, walking knee pulls. Now again, I'm sitting, so it's kind of hard to demonstrate. But basically what that means is the ability, so walk across the tennis court, but for every single step you take, pull your knees up to your chest and then go into a lunge. And then do the opposite. And do that all the way across the court. Again, this is going to do a great job stretching out your quads and your calves. So make sure, so this is dynamic. This is your warm-up. Make sure you're doing your leg swings and your knee pulls. So that's number two. Number three, wrist mobility. This is something we don't talk about near as much as we should, but a lot of people struggle with tennis elbow. I've struggled with it. I'm sure a lot of people have struggled with tennis elbow. If you have, let me know in the comments. You can say the word tennis elbow. I'm very curious if you've struggled with this as well, because a lot of people have. A huge thing that helped me deal with the tennis elbow I've had, and that maybe hopefully will help you, is before you start playing, try and get a warm-up in. What that means is extend your arm, pull your wrist down. This is stretching out this muscle right here, where a lot of times we're going to feel that tennis elbow right up here in your elbow. I mean, it's called tennis elbow, so that's what it's going to be. So as you pull down, it's stretching out that muscle. Then you can pull down the opposite way. Now it's stretching out this back muscle right here. Then you can pull up this way, and you can pull back that way. And then do the opposite side as well. This is a fantastic exercise that has really helped me be able to prevent and even help recover, but it's really good for preventative measures to help you not get tennis elbow. So if you are serious about not wanting to get tennis elbow, and you're serious about wanting to avoid that. So again, I'm going to be going over that in Escaping 4.0, your guide to 4.5 tennis. If you're serious about wanting to get better, make sure you go get this special launch day package today, where I'll review your forehand and your backhand when you get this ebook. So make sure you go check it out. You can message 4.5, you can DM me 4.5, you can go click the link in the bio, any of those. The last one I want to talk about, cross shoulder body stretch. So what that means is take your arm. This is, again, another warm-up exercise to help you make sure that you're getting the most out of your practice. Pull your arm across your body like this and hold for about 20 seconds. Hold for a while and then stretch it out and then go to the other side. Pull across. As you're doing that, you're going to feel this really in your back of your shoulder. If you're watching right now, make sure you're doing this as well. Go ahead and just pull across, and you're going to feel this in your shoulder, feel this slightly in your back, and this is going to be able to help you, especially with serves. Then, once you've done that, also pull back like this. So you're grabbing your elbow and you're pulling back. Again, you're stretching out your shoulders. This is especially good if you're going to be doing a bunch of serves in your practice. So make sure you're not just jumping into practices. Make sure you're not just jumping into matches. Make sure you're taking it seriously to be able to get to the next level by developing your mindset, by creating goals, and by warming up before practices and matches. And by doing those things, it's going to help you so much be able to get to the next level. If you're serious about tennis, if you are wanting to improve, if you'd like any help in that process, go get Escaping 4.0, your guide to 4.5 tennis. I'm going to be going over all this and so much more. And if you get it today, special launch day package, you can go get it right now. Go click the link in the bio. Special launch day package, I will review your forehand and your backhand and help you be able to improve from there. And I'll be able to do a personalized forehand and backhand review of your forehand and backhand compared to a pro of your choice. So if you're interested in that, again, go click the link in my bio, message 4.5, DM me 4.5, and we're going to help you get to the next level. Thank you so much for joining. Hopefully this is helpful. You don't...